Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Pothead Picker on Instagram, and it's episode 11, I think, but I'm just actually proud that I finally learned the name of my show well enough to say it. Because usually I fuck that up horribly. So another week, another episode. It's actually getting easier to do these. It's just it's one of those things that's like you take an hour out of the day and you're like, man, I feel like I should be doing something else. And I probably should because I'm not making any money doing this. But I just think long run that it's worth my time to do it. So that's why I'm taking the time to do it. I have a bunch of tax stuff I need to get done. Yeah, definitely going to be doing that soon. So I want to get the shit going. We're trying to go to Vegas in April. I just put a bunch of sealed sports cards that I got the pandemic. I lived in a town where it was really easy to get sports cards if you knew when they were stocking them. And they would stock on Friday mornings pretty much all the time. And the lady was hella cool, so she didn't care that I was there taking stuff while she was stocking. So I grabbed a shit ton of cards, and I just have been kind of sitting on them. I sold a bunch to get my money back right away. I sold a bunch of Bowman that year to this dude. I ended up dropping them off at a hospital, same hospital we were at, because this dude was having a baby and he wanted cards to rip. So I dropped him off at this I forget how I even met that guy. I must have put him on Facebook. Yeah, I did. I think I put him on Facebook. And that was when I first, that's part of why I didn't use Facebook for so long, because I remember this one dude hit me up, and it wasn't even it was just annoying because people just take time out of their day to fucking either comment on your post or message you, but it's really doesn't happen that often. And so this dude, I remember, messaged me because he was annoyed that I was selling cards for more than they were paying for at retail. And it's whatever. I mean, they were literally there for days. I would just buy them all up because nobody was buying them. So I was whatever. And so I did that for a little bit. And this dude messaged me and he's complaining about how I have a bunch of sports cards for sale, and he hopes that I have to end up selling them for less than I paid for them. And then he messaged me back and followed up, I see you still have them, blah 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 blah. And they ended up selling that day to this dude. This dude bought them all. And yeah, so I was just overly nice to that person. And it was just weird that you would take the time to be hey, to check back then and be hey, I hope that stuff didn't sell for you. But I've done some petty shit, so I can't blame them. Yeah. Selling on Facebook Marketplace back then, it was... But I got a bunch of those cards, and I remember, because we drove back from West Coast to East Coast, and at the time I was big into finding cards, and I wish at the time I had been as enthusiastic about stopping at thrift stores. And I could have done from the West Coast all the way over, stopping at thrift stores. Probably could have found way more stuff better, you know what I mean, for more money. But we wasted a bunch of time stopping at Walmarts and Targets. And I think there was one store that had cards, and I bought a bunch of them. This guy was looking at me because there was this dude there buying cards too. He wasn't buying the shit I was buying, but he was looking at me, and I was I stopped at 15 different stores on the way across the country. So and I didn't find anything. So this is why I'm buying this much. And he's yeah, whatever. So he didn't give a shit. And then one time when I was buying cards, I know this was before I moved, I'm jumping all around, I bought $1,000-something worth of cards, and I did self-checkout, and I just walked out after I rang everything up, and I got to the car, And I was like, oh shit, I didn't pay for this. Like, I just didn't remember having that interaction of like finishing paying. So I went back in, and sure enough, there's a guy trying to use that register, and he was like, I don't know why I kept saying I had owed like X amount of dollars. So I'm like, yeah, sorry. So he ended up like letting me finish up, so I just finished and paid. But yeah, it was pretty dumb. Just walked out with like a shitload of merchandise. Just not a care in the world. I'm glad I remembered, because if I had just gone home, because I went in there all the time, I would have gone in again. They would have been like, you're under arrest. Because I would have completely forgot, but I went right back in and remembered, so it worked out. And yeah, I've been looking for Disney Lorcana cards. I think I've already said that, but man, I still can't find them anywhere. And by anywhere, I mean the one place I've checked. They have the empty carton, so I know that they're there. Somebody keeps beating me to the fucking punch. So at this point, it's just like I kind of have given up, but we'll see. And I haven't really been buying a ton of inventory. I've been pretty... fuck, I just hit myself with something. I'm fucking around. Yeah, I haven't been buying a ton of inventory. Normally, I would have bought something by now. I've been looking for a storage unit. Found one the other day, and I was going to bid on it because it was pretty low. And then it disappeared, which means that the person paid for their shit. So that's always... I mean, I guess you kind of got to root for the person, because it's like they made it happen. They got their stuff back. But at the same time, it's like once it goes to auction, that should be it. You should have to bid just like everybody else. But whatever. So hopefully I find one soon. But I've been going through, I had these robots that this lady I have bought stuff for in the past. She gave me a bunch of them, but they're all broken. But I just went through and like did a bunch of them. It's like some Transformers. Not all of them are broken. Like the Transformers aren't broken. They were just kind of incomplete. So I've been just selling them for parts just to avoid any issues. But there's no way to put it like, because in eBay they have like the category for parts. But for toys and shit like that, they don't have it. So you have to like, I put it damn near 15 times. I just put it in the title, like first thing I put for parts repair, then I put it in like the features, and then I put it again in the description. So I put it like a bunch of places just so to avoid any issues. Take plenty of pictures. But I haven't had any issues, and they've been selling pretty quickly. So what I've been doing is like tackling things that I've had for a while. And instead of just doing like one thing, a couple things of it, I just focus on that for like, if it takes me like a week, I just go through that stuff. So I'm about to tackle these posters that I have. $5 I paid a few years back, and man, it was some really good posters, and they got hit in the flood, and so I lost a lot of them. But some survived and made it without minimal damage. But man, I wish that was one of my biggest, like, would have been my biggest flips, because it was like I've sold a few of them just right off the bat for like $60, and if they were all in like good condition, man. So there's a lot of cool horror ones, and so there's a Mallrats one. I'm gonna get that one framed and keep it. But yeah, there's a bunch of them, so I'm gonna go through the ones that I put aside that are still good, and do one box of those, and then do another box and just bang out all the posters, and then just keep moving on. I'm trying to get rid of a bunch of shit before yard sale season, so I'll have a yard sale coming up soon too. Before I go to Vegas, I'll have a yard sale, just get some cash. Yeah, they're doing the town-wide yard sale in May. So I think I'm going to have already had my yard sale, because I want to do it before I go to Vegas. So I'm going to do it like the week before. And I'll just do it. I'm going to put up tarps and stuff and try to get like some space heaters and make it warm. And I'll do it inside. and then just get a bunch of people. Because I'm going to have some video games and some other shit that, like, just isn't really worth it to sell on eBay. But it's like, you know, it's not really deceptive. It's just kind of, it brings people in. And then I just, like, have a ton of other shit. So a ton of baseball cards. I've been selling these. I got these baseball cards for free on, like, a buy nothing group. And I've just been putting them out at yard sales and selling them for a couple bucks a piece. Which I think I'm just going to put them on Facebook Marketplace and get rid of them all at once. I don't expect to get more than $50 for it, but we'll see. I'm going to pick up some comic books tomorrow. $40. It's about 200. Conditions are kind of they say they're good condition, but who knows. They don't really show, they only show like a fraction of what's in there, so you never know. I asked my buddy, and he told me he wouldn't spend more than 20, but I don't know, I didn't think they would take 20. So $40, it's a little bit of a gamble, but it's 20, it comes out to, if there's like around 200, then, you know, it's like 20 cents a piece. So, you know, you sell one or two books that are 20 to $30, it'd be all right. Put the rest aside. Save the ones that could be good. So, plus it's fun to go through. You know what I mean? But we'll see. I'm supposed to pick it up tomorrow. Who knows, if they get a better offer, they might take it. But you never know. Facebook, unless they pick up the day of. But that's when they wanted to. I wanted to pick it up today, but they were like, no, they're not going to be around today. So, gotta wait till tomorrow. It's always fun. It's a waiting game. And then, yeah, it's getting closer to yard sale season, obviously. Just realized there's an extra day in February this month. It's just like they're stretching to get to fucking yard sale season. So I'm hoping that there'll be some in Las Vegas. We've got to bring the kids. So that'll be, can't really get too fucked up. So I got to keep an eye on my kids. Yeah. I got some IKEA bags. You can order them from IKEA. One of mine has a hole just from carrying too much shit in it from time to time. So I had to get some new ones and re-up. It was time. If you're a reseller and you don't have an IKEA bag, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Super Bowl is this week. Chiefs and 49ers. I don't know why it took me that long. So, who knows who's going to win. I think we're all going to lose. It's going to be annoying. It's just going to be a bunch of Pfizer commercials and Taylor Swift nonsense. So we'll see. I'll watch it. My hopes aren't really that high. I have a feeling the Chiefs are going to win. But, I don't know. The only thing, I think my prediction is, Christian McCaffrey goes off. Somebody's got to go off. You know what I mean? I think that's how one of them wins. Whether it's, Rashee Rice or Isaiah Pacheco or... Who's the other team? Oh, yeah, Christian McCaffrey, Debo. You know. But it's so hard in the NFL to just, completely go off in the playoffs. Who knows? What do I know? Yeah, it's been... Oh, yeah, I just got through all those Polly Pockets. I listed all those. Those are actually really easy to list. I did those in a day. I love that sell similar feature. Because you can just, sell similar, do the same shit, just kind of change a couple words, and it just takes you such a shorter amount of time. So I did that for, 10 to 15 of them, and I sold 3 of the Polly Pockets, paid $90 for all of them. I've sold 3 of them. I have like, I don't know, 8 or 9 left, plus the mat. So, and I've already am in profit. So, pretty nice. Love when that happens. These robots keep selling too. It's like those Japanese robots from back in the day. But man, I wish if they were complete and like in good shape. So I'm definitely appreciative of the stuff this lady gives me. The Super Nintendo stuff was in good shape, but everything else has been in like kind of rough condition. But it's like I got from her one time like a box of 18 Transformer toys, like sealed ones. But the boxes were all, like the cards were all kind of bent and they weren't in the best of shape. Some of them were worse than others, but those all sold pretty quickly. Like sold quickly right away. But then, yeah, they were just sold all of them. So that's always fun when you get like a bulk buy and you sell it all. I remember I got these Ninja Turtles when I first started, and I paid like $600, and that was like a lot for, a bulk buy at that time. And luckily it motivated me to like sell it quick, so I turned around and flipped it. But at that time I feel like I was making a lot more than I've been making. So I don't know if it's just like harder with the 2 kids, but I guess it's because I'm podcasting instead of fucking listing. Well, like I should be. Instead of talking about things I listed, I should just be listing. But I don't know. Maybe there's one person listening to this. Who knows? So I'm just going to keep doing it. Talking about listing. So. And then I went to... Oh, yeah. I guess I can talk about this now. I was going to try to like save it for later in the episode, but I guess it's in far enough away. So I've always thought like a really good way to fuck with somebody would be to advertise a yard sale that they're not actually having. And for the first time ever in my entire life of going to yard sales, I went to a yard sale and there was a sign. I almost took a picture of it, but it was just the way it was worded. I didn't know if the person was like out there like being weird, but the sign said, "There is no moving sale today. We have been the victim of an online scam. The police have been notified. Goodbye." And so there's no sale. And so originally, the way I read it, I thought like they were gonna have a sale, but then they had to deal with this, like the 2 were unrelated. But then, as I was like telling my wife and my mom about it, it started to occur to me that it was like a revenge sale. You know what I mean? Like, they advertised this sale to annoy this person because they had the phone number and they had the person's name. It was like, call this number and ask for so and so. And so yeah, so it's more of like a prank than like an online scam. But like, it's definitely, does it become like a crime if it's malicious intent? I don't know, like, if that would be considered a crime. Like, all you're doing is advertising a yard sale. I mean, you can do that to anybody. I'm not advocating that you should do it, but I'm just saying that that's like a legit good way to fuck with somebody. because you gotta think like yard sale people are fucking obnoxious for the most part. So you got people like I texted the number. I wasn't gonna call it, and like I'm glad I didn't because it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, oh, I'll call. Then I was like, that's kind of early. I'll wait. And then it was like 10, and then I was like, I don't feel like calling about this sale because I was just gonna ask a couple things if they like had things because it said to ask, you know. So I sent a text message. I never got a response, and yeah, so they put the dude's number, and then it's like call and ask for so and so. And they had like pictures of stuff that they had. I had a list of stuff that they had for sale. And yeah, so I can only imagine. Where they fucked up, like what I would have done is I would have put like an 8 a.m. start time. But they put noon to 5 as the start time. So like I'm sure people weren't showing. Like I know I showed up, but I saw the sign. I just was like, oh, you know, there's no sale, whatever. But I'm sure somebody got there, unless they had the sign up, like, because they were getting phone calls. And they just were, because I'm sure it's not easy to get something taken off of Craigslist. You know? I'm sure there's not really much support. You probably have to, like, go through, like, a lot of hoops to get that shit taken down. Yeah, and then you got people showing up early, showing up days early, knocking on your door. Man. Evil genius. Revenge sale. I've thought about, like, you know, posting a fake sale just to, like, lure other, you know, your competition away from you. Like doing it on, like, a town-wide sale day and, like, submitting a, you know, someplace far out away from everything else. That's just takes a while to get to. And then you have to get, you know, come all the way back to go to other sales, but make that one look so appealing that you just, you know. But yeah, never have I thought that I would go to a sale that just was somebody did out of spite, a fake sale. Because I mean, it's really shitty to do. One, because people are going to go to, like, I drove 20 minutes. Like, that's not a long time, but if you're driving like 45 minutes for the sale and you get there and you're like, you find out that it's not there because some douchebag was like made up a fake sale. So I'm just wondering what the context was, because there's like so many situations that like it could have been an old neighbor or a current neighbor, somebody's like you were romantically involved with. Like that sounds like something like a female would do. You know what I mean? Like do a fake yard sale seems like something, like not necessarily every time, but if you told me like, hey, there was a chick who did that, I'd be like, yeah, I can see that, like, because it was to like a dude, you know what I mean? And like it said to specifically ask for him, so that could be like a message, like sending a message that, like, you know what I mean? Or it could have been like a Facebook marketplace gone wrong. Because I know sometimes people on there are fucking crazy. I try not to meet at my house. If it's like a normal looking person, I do a lot of research before. Then you feel like a weirdo because you're like looking at their information. And then I decide if I'm going to let you at the house. So could have been like something like that. Like somebody came to their house and they were like annoyed because they didn't, like, they sold something from under them. These are just all wild theories. Just trying to figure out the psychology behind that. Because you got to be like really pissed at somebody to do that. putting that you're having a moving sale, and you have to like know that people are going to be obnoxious about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to either have had your own sale and been like, oh, people just are relentless with this, or I don't know. It's tough situation. You ever forget that there's a month in between the next month? You're just like, you think that there's like I just, up until just now, I was thinking that there was like February, then April. But then I'm just like, completely remember that there's March. So, that's where my head's at right now. But man, revenge sale. I don't know if I could do that to somebody. I don't know if I could. I would do something fucked up, but I just would feel bad for the other people involved, because then you're like, there's like collateral damage. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting my hopes up that I'm going to a sale, and then the sales canceled. Could have at least had a sale. You know what I mean? They went to the trouble of advertising for you. There's nothing you could have found to put outside. You know? Nothing you could have offered to sell. I sent a text message. You could just responded. But like, hey, there's no sale. I would have understood. So maybe that person is a douchebag too. Maybe they had it coming. Maybe. Guess we'll never know. But that was crazy. I pulled up and I saw the sign. I'm like, it was a very long sign. I was like, oh, this is... And at first I thought the person was like mentally ill. I was like, oh, geez. Like, they were scammed online and they're no longer having a sale. But then once I've kind of figured out, I was like, oh, somebody posted that they were having a sale and that they're not actually having a sale. And I could see why that's annoying. But at first I was like, oh, they just like were on Craigslist and somebody sent, you know what I mean? Because they posted it on Craigslist. So I'm like, oh, they received something back about it. You know what I mean? Like an email about the sale, and they clicked on a link or something. That's what I was thinking initially. But then as the more that I thought about what it said, it's like, oh, they don't mean that there was an online scam. It's like an online prank, I guess, with malicious intent. But like, I don't know. I mean, none of their real information. Their number was given out. It's like, nobody's going to keep that number. I've already lost it. And then like, their address was given out for a 1-day sale. So I doubt that, I really doubt that anything's going to happen to the person who did it. You know what I mean? I feel like that can't be considered a crime. Maybe it is. I could look it up, but I don't feel like it. Man. My kid slept through the night last night, but the 2 nights before that, oof. The fucking kid keeps waking up. Finally not sick. Like, I'm still a little sick. I still am like a little gun shy when I'm smoking weed, so then I start hacking up a lung. But overall, I'm not like, my nose doesn't hurt as much anymore. It's just like raw and itchy and, But now it's pretty much getting better. Still a little bit in my chest, coughing up a little bit. But yeah, it was not fun being sick. Definitely not. So now I'm just waiting for it to be nicer weather. Hasn't been too many estate sales. I don't know. I've thought about like just driving around and just trying to find ones that aren't advertised. But every time I've just driven around, I've never had any luck finding anything, especially this, like, in the off season. So, who knows? And then, yeah, Super Bowl. I don't really know what else I want to talk about right now. I'm trying to think. Just bear with me for a second. Bear with me. I'm trying to think of something either reselling related or parent related that I can talk about. Yeah, we got my daughter's progress report back. It's always fun. She just goes to daycare, but they like kind of tell you how she's doing socially. Sounds like she's doing well. Most positive. A lot of it was positive. Didn't really give her any criticisms, so who knows? Take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, it's always fun to get good news back about your children when they're away from you. Trying to think. I went to another sale. Was it Friday? Oh no, yesterday. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. And it's this lady who, like, I think she does like clean outs or something. But usually she has like a ton of stuff, and this time she only had a few things, and it wasn't great. I mean, it's not ever anything spectacular. But usually there's a ton of stuff to go through, and you'll find a few things that are worth some money. But I showed up like 10 minutes before the sale was supposed to start. They were like, I was like, oh, you guys open? The guy kind of got all shitty and was like, well, we're trying to. I'm like, oh, it's 10 minutes before you guys are open. You know what I mean? So some people just get shitty with it. It's like a little way to hold power. They'll be like, I'm having a sale. It starts at this time. And it's like the little bit of power that they have that day that they get to exert over you. Like, all right, whatever. I only had one guy. I remember I went to a sale. It was close by my house, and it was like pretty. I mean, it wasn't like too much before they were starting, but like it was almost like a neighborhood street sale or something like that. Other houses were already open, so I like went to that house and I asked. I was like, "Hey, you guys open?" They're like, "Yeah, that's fine. You can take a look." And I started looking around, and like this lady was talking to me, and she was like, I was asking her about the stuff that I was thinking about buying, and this dude comes out, this older guy, and he's like, we said no early birds, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, they didn't say no early birds. They just, you know what I mean? It was just like a sign that I saw. And I asked if they were open, you know what I mean? Because it was just a random sale. And so, yeah, I kind of got into it with him a little bit. Still bought some stuff from the sale, but probably would have spent more money if that dude wasn't being such a dickhead. But then I went next door and I asked them, like, are you open? They're like, yeah, we're open. Like, so I never understand that. Like, if your stuff's out, just why the fuck do you care? You know what I mean? It's like, it's a control thing. I know it. That's all it is. You just want to have that little bit of control and power over somebody. This is the stuff I think of when there's no yard sales. So think about the old yard sales. And there's got to be a better way to source. I mean, I'm sure there is. Try online, but my neighborhood, my area, it's always hard to, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard to source online because things go for like way more than they're ever worth. You know what I mean? It's like, it must be collectors looking because they still get a discount based on like what they would pay on eBay, but it's way too much money to spend and sell on eBay. I'm bidding on a old Apple computer right now, and it was like one from like I don't know if it was the 90s or the 2000s, with like the teal blue, like the iMac. So it's got like the box and everything. So I think I bid up to $30. And so it's at like 21 right now. So we'll see. I doubt that I'm gonna get it, and I'm not paying more than 30. So, although it's worth, decent amount of money. So, we'll see what happens. And you gotta test it, make sure it works, ship it. So, I'm kind of hoping I get outbid. But for $30, it'll be worth, doing the work. I'll just, right when I get it, I'll just fucking test it, take pictures, get it going. Probably end up trying to sell it on Marketplace first, and then go eBay if it doesn't sell. So yeah, I have all those sealed cards up. I had started to talk about this earlier. Somebody offered me like $550 on a lot I have up for $775, and I said no. Now I'm kind of rethinking it, and I might hit them back up and try to get them to take it, because I'm just trying to make some money for Vegas, you know what I mean? I could sell like $1,000 worth of cards. That would be a huge positive step. Which I've got a couple lots for over 1,000, but like 550 would be a big chunk. And then just sell the rest. Like somebody offered me 200 on another lot, which I said yes to, but then they were like, "Oh, you're too far away." All right, whatever. So they'll sell. If not, I'll just sell them on eBay. So I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, it's hard because those are kind of like higher dollar transactions. So those ones always kind of make me nervous. When I lived in, I know this is Craigslist, but when I lived in California, Northridge, California, I remember there was like missing signs all around near the school, and then like you heard like what had happened because they found the dude, his body, and he had like just tried to sell his car to somebody on Craigslist. They like robbed him for it and killed him, and like dumped his body out like on the side of the road somewhere. And yeah, so that was crazy. So that always is like, that part's a little concerning. But you gotta just be smart about shit. Like, you can't go meet somebody with a car by yourself, especially if somebody's just trying to steal your shit to do something nefarious. You know what I mean? They're not gonna give a shit like, "Oh fuck, I don't have the registration, I don't have this, that, the other." They're just gonna take your shit, So anyway, we watched. They say talk about the Barbie movie. It was alright. Just Margot Robbie crying for like fucking 2 hours. I don't know why it got so much hype. It was. I'm telling my mom we watched it. I was like, yeah, it was alright. She's like, did you get the underlying symbolism, whatever the fuck she said? I'm like, yeah, no, we got it. Because my wife wasn't too big on it either. It was just hard to get into. It just was like I get what they were trying to do, but it was just kind of like, a lot of the jokes fell flat. Like literally, if Margot Robbie wasn't in it, we both probably would have stopped watching. But yeah, the majority of it was her crying, just fucking sobbing about something, fucking stupid woman bullshit. But it was yeah, not bad, not good. Just kind of was a movie. So anyway, Yeah, I didn't really. I might just do 45 minutes today. Just because I've got some shit I need to get done. My wife's schedule is like 1 day on, 3 days off. 1 day on, 3 days off right now. So it's, or 1 day on, 1 day off, 3 days on. That's what I meant to say. So, gotta get shit done. I had to go to get Massachusetts. You gotta get like your car inspected to get like a sticker, registration sticker. And I go to this place nearby, and it's always really quick. So I went there, got my shit changed, in and out, boom, boom, boom. Told my mom about that place, and she was like, yeah, you had to like park and go in. She had like a whole issue with it, and then she just ended up leaving. She didn't feel like waiting, so she said she went to like this sketchy ass place that was like in a tarp or something. I don't even know what the fuck she was talking about, but yeah, she should have just been patient and waiting. I was in and out in under like 20 minutes. Got that shit done. Boom, boom. Gotta go. See ya. So, should have probably been patient. But anyway, yeah, this weekend, it's supposed to be nicer. It was like, we went a bunch of days without any sun. I feel like I was getting like a hardcore seasonal depression. Just didn't feel like doing shit. Just felt like living in video game world. Playing Jedi Survivor, which is what I've been playing. Oh, so I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna head back to Zelda. Play that for a little bit. And I still have the Super Mario Wonder. It's fun, but it's not like something you have to like fucking power through. You just kind of play it as you go, because it's fun. So, yeah. What else? Said I was a thing about the comics. Said a couple things I was selling. I don't know. Talked about the Super Bowl already. Yeah. I didn't do much this past week. It was pretty cold. I went to this brewery on Friday. It's like the first time I've had a drink in like a month. It's because we were sick and whatnot. Plus, I'm not that big of a drinker, so I don't really drink very often. More sociably. But we went and met up with some of our friends, and it was like cool. They had like not drinking games, but they had like darts, ping pong, cornhole, bunch of shit, live music. So it was cool. It's good times. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm starting to get sleepy. Even though I got sleep last night, I've been tired as fuck. So I'm only gonna do 45 minutes. But I think that's alright. I think I did over last week. So just keep it coming. Keep them coming. I hope they'll get better. Working towards being better. And then video will come eventually. I know how to do it. It's very hard to motivate to do both. The editing of the video and the audio. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's the podcast. Thanks again for tuning in before I fall asleep on this friggin' mic. And I'll be back again either next week or the week after. Probably next week. I've been pretty good about staying on task. So, alright. Have a good one. Have a good week. And talk to you later. Bye.